or visit our website at allamericangold.com.
Hey, Larry Elder here. Thank you for listening to the Bucky Dillon Show, hosted by the Liberty Revolt and KHNC.
What's up, guys? Good morning. Bucky Dillon here. It is 6:05 in the morning, and I'm excited to be with you right here in beautiful Johnstown, Colorado. This is the Bucky Dillon Morning Show, our morning show, a collaborative between myself and the free-thinking, free-spirited, freedom-loving, free speech advocating patriot community right here in northern Colorado, or tuning in worldwide on the radio broadcast 1360khnc.com. Don't forget to check out the shop. Guys, if you would like to hang out with me in the live stream, you can go to facebook.com/1360khnc, and you will see I will be sharing the live stream link, so you can go to the Liberty Revolt YouTube page and hang out with me in the comment section, where I will actively be responding to comments, questions, concerns, jokes, whatever else. And don't forget, while you're there on the Facebook page, give it a like, give it a follow, share the page, invite your friends to the page. It really does help us reach a broader and a younger audience. We have, obviously, the live stream links, but we also have blogs. KHNC, one of the new things we are doing to become more engaged in the culture and in our community is we've started a blog on the website, 1360khnc.com, and we share some of those articles onto the KHNC Facebook page. So if you would like to join the fight to rescue our country, and you have political ideas, political philosophy, little stories about history, little predictions about where we're going, or just want to break down the issues of the day, you could actually stop wasting your time by writing Facebook posts on your personal page that maybe one or two of your friends will like, and otherwise you'll just get blasted by your so-called tolerant progressive friends. We have a built-in audience. So if you are looking for a way to get the message out to an audience that actually enjoys thinking and reading and studying policy, you could become a content contributor. Just contact at 1360khnc.com to learn how you can join the fight. Guys, it is great to be with you today. I titled today's episode, "What is Most Important?" If we are able to rescue our country. Well, I think it'll come to surprise of no one if the most important thing, in my opinion, is the children. Reaching out to our children. This is what is, I think, the scariest thing about the cancel culture. If we're afraid to speak, we might as well pack it up and go home. It's over. It's done. We are blood in the water. We have to speak. Part of the reason I became a radio talk show host was so I could develop my ability to communicate my opinions, so I could develop my confidence standing up and publicly speaking. I understand that people are afraid to get out and speak publicly. I understand. I certainly am. But I decided that I was going to force myself in a position to where I had to better articulate my opinions and to create a better representation of myself, not a caricature. I'm not an actor, but to be able to represent myself better. Because that is what is most important. Messaging, imaging, that is what wins politics. Why has the left spent so much money investing into Hollywood, investing into pop music, investing into social media and all these other avenues of public discourse? And clearly have not spent very much time studying policy or its ramifications. If they had been studying policy, they wouldn't be pushing the same policies in the Black community that have utterly destroyed the Black communities for 60 years. No. They study messaging. Because if they can drive the narrative, policy doesn't really matter, right? I hold to the belief that if Donald Trump would have just shut up and the news would have had to cover his policies as opposed to his rhetoric, unstoppable. Unstoppable. But he had to go out there and make a total ass out of himself over and over and over and over again and give them, the mainstream media, the communications branch of the Decepticrat Party, a club to beat him over the head with every day. But he was a fighter. That was a good thing. And he did do a lot to expose the corrupt propaganda machine that the mainstream media is. But what is most important? It's the children. And it's speaking to our children. And who's doing a better job of that? Are conservatives doing a great job of speaking to the up-and-coming generations? No, they're doing a terrible job of it. When you think of universities, do you think of right-wing indoctrination? So how do we reach out to the children? That is what I'm going to cover in the second segment. Guys, you're listening to the Bucky Dillon Morning Show, our show. I'm thrilled to be here with you. I will see you after the break.
COVID has stopped Triangle Cross Ranch from conducting any fundraisers since March of 2020. Current state government issues has stopped our ability to have fundraisers until March 2021. We need financial donations to get through the rest of the year. Any financial support is welcome, or just send $1 US silver dollar a month to support our Christian mission. Triangle Cross Ranch, 36049 County Road 51, P.O. Box 727, Gailton, Colorado, 80622.
Is the driveway made of fruit leather, or has the apple stopped appling? If your half of a 100-foot cottonwood tree just needs a haircut, call Affordable Tree Service North at 970-568-6898. We have saved many trees everyone else said was dead. Show-offs! Hey, you're not in this one either. From fire mitigation, bushes, trees to bees, that's 568-6898. God bless us!
Hey, it's Larry Elder. Thank you for listening to me every weekday from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. right here on 1360 KHNC, the roar of the Rockies. Do you own a business in northern Colorado or surrounding areas? Are you looking to reach a conservative, family-based, loyal audience which could grow your business? Well, take my advice and just call 970-587-5003 or email on the air at 1360khnc.com and tell them Larry sent you.
Hey, KHNC listeners, Bucky Dillon here. By the way, I just want to let you know, if you're interested in buying or selling real estate, I highly recommend you contact my friend Jerry at SearsRealEstate.com. He's been doing real estate here since like 2005. And you don't just get him, you get the entire Sears Real Estate team, one of the best in the business, looking out for you on one of the most crucial purchases of your life. Don't mess it up. Contact my friend Jerry at SearsRealEstate.com.
The Bucky Dillon Show is a Liberty Revolt Media production. www.libertyrevoltmedia.com.
Bucky Dillon here, guys. We're talking about how do we reach young people, and I think we surprisingly actually do have somewhat of an advantage here. Conservatism has become the counterculture. It's become punk rock. You may have noticed last week I cut my hair into a mohawk. That mohawk is gone, by the way. Turns out if I have to choose between my haircut and my wife's attention, I will always choose my wife. Guys, one just quick life tip here. If you want to succeed in life, a healthy marriage and a helpful wife is probably the most effective platform for you to jump off into pursuing your dreams. I love my wife so much. I am so glad for what I found. Guys, you have to get your crap together and find yourself a woman who has her crap together, who is patient and can deal with you, and treat her right. Just do it, man. I'm telling you, nothing in my life has been better for me than tying the knot and going for it. And what's interesting is I actually I only knew my wife for a couple of months. I think we'd known each other for about 3 months when we got married. And I had always been kind of the opposite. I always thought, man, you should date for a long time. You should really, feel it out for a long time and just make sure you're making the right decision, blah, blah. And you should try to make sure you're making the right decision. But I think one of the best things I did was not wait too long. I didn't spend 6 years with 1 foot in and 1 foot out. And then every time we had our problems, I already had 1 foot out, right? I just hopped right in and I married this woman. And every time we've had a tough situation, we were already committed. Our boats were already tied together. And I think that the necessity of figuring it out, because we didn't have 1 foot in and 1 foot out, has drastically strengthened our trust in our relationship. And I really do mean it. It has provided a platform, a jumping off point for me to pursue everything else that I've wanted to do. So that's just one tip right there. If you're, like me. How do we reach out to young people? This is one thing that I have been trying to figure out since I got into politics. And ever since I got into politics, here's what I realized, because I used to be very progressive. I used to be on the left, and not just on the left. I was like a Bernie Sanders vicious progressive. And then I became a conservative. How did I become a conservative? Well, I was determined to own my grandfather, who was a Trump supporter. I was chapped. I was like, how dare he support Trump, right? And I thought that I was just going to beat him in an argument because I was in my young 20s and I really knew everything, right? I had all the answers, of course. And I discovered conservatism, and turns out the arguments made a lot of sense to me. But this was at a time in my life when I was a professional drummer and I was touring all around the country and I had nothing to do. I was sitting in a van for like 6 to 8 hours a day. And I got on YouTube, which, by the way, is where the young people are. Young people aren't listening to AM radio. Hate to break it to you guys. Love what you're doing. It's a great forum for people to explore ideas and to really hone their arguments. But young people aren't there. That's not at all where the young people are at. Young people are online. They're on social media. They're on YouTube. Something like 80% of the population, I'm forgetting the number now, but it's some absurd number of Americans get all of their political news exclusively from Facebook. So where should we be fighting the culture war? And the culture war is paramount. That's where the arguments really come through, because people aren't paying attention to politics. People aren't watching CNN. They're not watching Fox News. They're not listening to AM radio. The vast majority of people, it takes a special breed. Guys, we love you. That's why we're here. We love that special breed. We love those thinkers. We love the people who are interested in ideas. Most people, they watch Netflix when they get home from work. They get on social media. First thing they do when they get up in the morning is they sit on the toilet and they look at Facebook. So where should conservatives, libertarians be engaging? Social media and YouTube, because it's the young people that are going to drive this country. It's the young people. Whatever happens on the college campuses happens in government 5-10 years later. Keep that in mind. That's where we need to fight, in the culture. So one thing I'm doing right here at KHNC is turning the lobby into a place for people to get together, into a community spot. By the way, guys, I just put the YouTube live stream on the KHNC Facebook page, facebook.com/1360 KHNC. Give it a like, give it a follow, invite your friends, join the conversation, join the fight. I'm turning the lobby here at KHNC as quickly as I can into a place for the community to get together. Especially right now during COVID is a golden opportunity. Everywhere else is locked down. Not to mention Johnstown it's a beautiful place, but they don't got any music venues. They don't have any comedy clubs. They don't have a theater that I'm aware of. Not that I have found. So one thing we can do is start hosting movie nights. Start hosting comedy club events, right? Start hosting little acoustic concerts. Get involved in the conversations that actually sway people. People aren't following politics, but they'll come watch a movie. They'll come listen to jokes. And if your politics are there, but on the side, not being forced down their throat, they'll absorb some of it. People are way more likely to vote the way you would like them to if they're friends with you, if they like you. Why do Democrat politicians go out there, Democrat talking heads in the media? Why does Hollywood make every bad guy some vicious, rich, white conservative guy, right? I'll tell you why. Because they don't have to convince anyone that their political arguments are better. They have to convince the general population that you're a bad person. And they're bad people if they support you. That's what this whole thing is all about. It's all about convincing people that Conservatives are bad people. Trump supporters are bad people. Lunatics, conspiracy theorists. If they can do that, they don't have to contend with your arguments. If they can shoot the messenger, we have to be willing to walk through the fire. We have to be willing to engage in the conversation. Let them say all the things they want to say about you. And then just simply point out, hey, you know what's just as bad as racism? Going around accusing regular, honest, decent, hardworking people of being vicious racists. And I would say that's way more prevalent than racism. Oh, Biden comes out and he's like, we're waging war on white supremacy. Okay, well, once you've dealt with those 6 people, can we get back to business here? Good Lord. Who's not for that? That's like when you see people going out and say, hey, I'm against poverty. Wow, look at you. What a great guy. Oh, man. Hey, everybody, look over here. This guy's, he's against poverty. Strategies to reaching out to our children. Strategies to reaching out to young people. There are absolutely ways for us to do it, but it starts with getting engaged in what people are interested. You know, during the first hour, I kind of said that I was in 5th grade when 9/11 happened. It didn't really impact me that much. I didn't really know what it meant. Right? And then I was in 7th grade when, on this day in history, by the way, the Columbia shuttle returning to Earth disintegrated in the atmosphere, killing all 7 astronauts. February 1st, 2003. I was in like 7th grade, I think. Didn't really affect me. But you know what did affect me? Cartoon Network. And guess which billionaire owns Cartoon Network? The same one that owns CNN. You know, Cartoon Network literally came out and had a little public service announcement, whatever you want, to children. By the way, the target audience is children, about gender identity and accepting of all gender identities. And you can be interesting and get attention too if you just declare yourself some fantasy gender. Oh, by the way, you know, they try to make the case that transgenderism is something you're like born with. It's not a cultural thing. Interesting enough, since we started having all these all this talk about transgender, gender identity, everything else, rates of young people identifying as transgender has skyrocketed. And what they found is, especially little girls in junior high, if one of their friends becomes transgender, half the group will become transgender. Does that sound genetic? Or does that sound like a cultural fad? I don't know. You don't see a lot of old trans people. You would think that if it was just a factor of genetics, that it would be consistent over time. But it seems as though the more we worship anyone who comes out, and any guy who puts lipstick on and declares himself a woman, as brave and spectacular, the more people seem to do it. I guess, gosh, it's almost like children want to be brave and spectacular and get a bunch of attention. You're listening to the Bucky Dillon Show, our morning show, right here on KHNC.
Hey, it's Larry Elder. Thank you for listening to the Bucky Dillon Show, hosted by the Liberty Revolt and KHNC.
Every weekday at 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. Our morning show. See you there.
The Roar of the Rockies. 1360 KHNC is partnership with My Kind CBD, a local Colorado-based company that uses no pesticides, no herbicides, completely organic, no heavy metals. All their products are CAO certified. That's right, independently lab certified. Our prices are the best in the country. Go out to 1360khnc.com and hit the shopping cart button and make your purchase today.
Are you paying too much for your home, life, or auto insurance? It only takes 10 minutes to find out. Hi, this is Kevin Bowles with Badger Insurance Advisors. Choosing insurance plans can be difficult. That's why I make it easy. I'll make the calls, compare the plans and prices, and find you the insurance plan that fits your needs. Best of all, my help is at no cost to you. Call me today at 303-359-1799 or visit badgerinsuranceadvisors.com. Let me find the right insurance for you.
Why does it seem America is slowly sinking? Whose fault is it? It's not the Obamas or the Clintons. It's not Republicans or Democrats. It's not corporations, the military, or foreign countries. It's the Federal Reserve, a central banking system made up of private bankers that corrupt and control virtually all aspects of the world's money supply and the economy. All of the major problems of the world can be traced to the Federal Reserve and central banks of other countries. Hi, I'm Jason with the Colorado Front Range News Hour. Catch my show with co-host Brian here on KHNC 3 to 4, Monday through Friday. We sell gold and silver, the best way to protect your hard-earned money. Call 800-951-0592 and keep those blood-sucking bankers out of your wallet.
Reasons to own gold. Reason number 725.
The government goes out of its way to make you believe Social Security has an account with your name on it with money just for you. But the Supreme Court ruled that payments due under Social Security are not property rights and are not protected. Social Security is merely a tax, and the government is under no obligations to pay you anything. Call the Patriot Trading Group, 800-951-0592, or visit allamericangold.com.
Hi, everybody. Glenn Tate, co-host of Prepping 2.0.
Shelby Gallagher here. Join us Saturdays at 9 a.m.
right here on 1360 KHNC,
where we bring you great ideas to take your preps to the next level.
Great minds think alike. Thank you for listening to the Bucky Dillon Show, hosted by the Liberty Revolt. Join me, Larry Elder, today at 5 on 1360 KHNC. Now back to Bucky Dillon.
Where are we channeling our efforts? Where are we channeling our messaging? Where are we channeling our money? How are we reaching out to the young people? The most important thing we can do is to, at the very least, help our young people think for themselves. At the very least, break the left's domination of the cultural narrative. And I think we've done a good job the last 4 years. I think that's one thing that you got to give Trump credit. He was a culture warrior, far more than he was a political thinker. And I know the right, they really pride themselves on being, they've really pride themselves on having a great understanding of policy, a great understanding of the founding. They understand that we need a strong military and a strong economy. They understand that America first is the best way to preserve liberal values. They're terrible at the ground game. They're abysmal at it. That's what my whole thing is about. It's all about engaging in the culture. It's all about reaching out to young people, community organizing, messaging, aesthetics, right? I catch some flack here at the station sometimes because I try to get a little bit away from some of the conspiratorial hardline stuff and be a little more mainstream, a little more centrist, and even even sometimes talk about, you know, problems that typically only progressives and liberals tend to care about: wealth inequality, environmental issues. Why do I do that? Well, because that's how you win over those people, right? We have a lot of fantastic, interesting, compelling, different shows on this station, and I love it. But sometimes new people tune in and it feels like they're just getting hit in the head with a hammer, or their entire belief system, the entire foundation of their belief system is just being ripped out from under them. And it's very hard to win people over that way. You kind of have to spoon feed them a little bit. You have to find some common ground with them. You have to give them some credit. If you don't give people credit, they're not going to listen to you. Why do they care what you think? That's why we're trying to move this station into the future by getting the live streaming and the YouTube and the blogging and the social media stuff going. Not because we love to do social media, that's our thing, it's just fun. It's terrible. It sucks. I hate social media. But that's where the young people are. You want to make an impact, you change the minds of 17 and 18-year-olds. 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds, ones that are still energetic, ones that are still going out there swinging. The activists. You don't see very many old activists. They donate, and that's great. That's important. But typically they're donating to the activists, right? We need to foster an activist space. We need to foster a sense of community. We need to get involved in short stories, videos, right? We should have a where exactly is the now this is the Huffington Post on the right. Breitbart has tried to do it a little bit, but you know, ever since Steve Bannon, which from what I can tell, he's a smart guy, but he's not a very moral guy, right? So it kind of discredits him. Ever since Steve Bannon took it over, it's kind of gone downhill. And of course, they embraced the Milo Yiannopoulos, and they kind of they were very lenient on some of the alt-right figures, and didn't do too much to help their public image. And public image is everything. It's everything. Public image is everything. Doesn't matter how great your ideas are if people think you're the villain. You have to be the good guy. Conservatives win when they're the loving father figure, when they're the reasonable nice guy, right? That's why in some ways, I think even Alex Jones can be counterproductive to the movement, even if he says things that have some merit to them. Because regular people tune in, they don't know what the heck he's talking about. They just see some guy frothing at the mouth and they go, I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want to be in alliance with that guy. And I'm not saying that I dislike Alex Jones. I think he's great at radio. But public image is everything. And you have to be engaged. And I think some of this tech censorship is actually going to backfire on the left. Why? Because I actually believe that as they filter out the more and more radical conservatives, people are going to be left looking at platforms where they see radical leftists and moderate conservatives. And who are they going to gravitate towards? They're going to gravitate towards moderate conservatives, hopefully. If the moderate conservatives can have a effective messaging strategy. So where am I going with this? Well, guys, become part of KHNC. We've started a blog page. It's one of the many things we're doing to become more engaged in our community. You could become a content contributor. You could write articles and send them to us, and assuming that they pass a very, very low bar of decency, we'll host them. We have a built-in audience. And by supporting us on social media, you really do make a big difference. You really do help us reach a broader and a younger audience. I'm very passionate about it. I think it's one of the most important things for us to be doing. And it's something that conservatives overlook. The radio's great. Like I said, the radio is a great way of honing your arguments, a great way of developing yourself as a public speaker. I'm very happy to be here. But we've got to move the messaging to where the youth are. I don't think young people know what an AM radio is. Not unless their parents listen to it. And if your parents listen to it, you're probably not going to listen to it. Not if you're a rebellious young person. And just come down to the station, get to know us, hang out with us. I'm typically here Saturdays or Sundays, and I'll give you guys a heads up when I'm here. Come hang out with me. I look forward to it. You're listening to the Bucky Dillon Show.
Smart lights, smart locks, smart thermostats. You love your new connected technology. And the Consumer Technology Association wants to help you protect the security of your devices. First, don't use default or easy-to-guess passwords. Create unique ones and keep them safe. Next, look for and install security updates from device manufacturers. Also, have an active firewall for your home router, and consider using a professional installer to set up your new devices. Technology Association to help keep your devices secure.
Hi, this is Mike Morris, owner of Warriors Revolution Tactical in Longmont. At Warriors Revolution, we have the largest selection of tactical gear and ammo in northern Colorado. But what many people may not know is that we now sell firearms. And even despite the recent run on firearms and ammunition, we have plenty of product in the store, including ARs, AKs, Glocks, SIGs, HK, and more. And don't forget all the bulk ammunition at the best prices in town. Need to do a private firearms transfer? We can do that too. I am a veteran of the United States Marine Corps, and our team is made up of veterans and security experts, not a bunch of salesmen. Our team is trained and fought with much of the actual equipment we sell. And one thing you should know is that we support the foundations and principles this great country was founded upon. So if you need tactical gear, ammo, firearms, AR parts or upgrades, and even survival accessories, stop by and visit us on Ken Pratt Boulevard and Bowen Street in Longmont, or visit warriorsrevolution.com. That's warriorsrevolution.com.
No people will tamely surrender their liberties, nor can any be easily subdued when knowledge is diffused and virtue is preserved. On the contrary, when people are universally ignorant and debauched in their manners, they will sink under their own weight without the aid of foreign invaders. Samuel Adams.
欢迎收听 KHNC 广播电台 Bucky Dillon 早安秀，大家的早安广播，谢谢。
Reaching out to young people. What appeals to young people? Music, movies, being cool with their friends. That's where we should strike. We got to strike at the heart of the culture. And we got to get started on it now. It could take 3 generations to turn this around. We have sat idly by while our education system and our cultural media outlets have been overtaken by the woke leftists. Remember, so there's the right wing pseudo militia group called the 3%ers. I don't know anything about them. I can't say if I support them or if I think they're absolutely terrible. I don't know anything about them, but I do know why they're called the 3%ers, because it only took 3% of the population rebelling against Britain to spur the Revolutionary War and to win it. Now, progressives make up 8, possibly 15% of the population. And they're the activist base. They're the ones that are becoming teachers. They're the ones that are becoming professors. They're the ones that are teaching music, teaching English. They're the ones that are becoming actresses, right? Think about that. Almost every single actor and actress, they either keep their mouth shut or they toe the progressive agenda. What do you think that is going to do to the minds of young people, to the minds of people who don't really pay attention to politics? Just the vast majority of the country. They're going to take that messaging for granted. They're just going to go along with it. Why would they challenge it? That takes work. That takes research. That takes study. They're not going to do that. That gives you a headache. By the way, I have been feeling terrible recently. I got a bad headache and a stomach ache last night. And I've been feeling a little bit rough this morning. But one thing that has helped me is taking my CBD products. So that is surprising. Yeah, I used to smoke a lot of pot when I was young. I left home when I was 16 and I stopped going to school, and I liked to declare myself an alternative pharmacist. Essentially, I lived with a girlfriend and her parents were growers. And I helped take care of their gardens. And that was a big part of my life for a long time. But then once I started becoming an adult and realizing that I needed to take responsibility for my life, and I got married and started trying to develop myself and actually thinking about the future, I couldn't be stoned all the time. And turns out that the hemp plant actually has a ton of medicinal utility, and that you can actually separate the psychoactive effects of THC, the part that actually gets you stoned, with the medicinal part of the plant. And that's what the CBD products are. That's the part of the plant that helps you with headaches, that helps you with stress, that helps you with depression, that helps you sleep. I'm a notoriously bad sleeper, and you don't want to take melatonin because you become dependent on that artificial melatonin. You stop producing it on your own, and then you can't reliably fall asleep on your own. So pretty soon you're taking more and more, and you don't want to drink yourself to sleep because you don't actually get good sleep. Like the idea of a nightcap, it's actually not healthy for you. I did an entire episode on sleep one day, actually. And turns out that, getting stoned or taking prescription drugs or drinking doesn't help you get sleep. It may help you fall asleep, but you don't actually get that deep recuperative sleep. CBD products do help you, though. It's like one of the only things that help you, and they help with headaches. So if you appreciate this show today, you can thank CBD products. We're very thrilled to be now selling them on the website. That's where I get my CBD products, 1360khnc.com/shop. Check them out. You cannot get a better deal. I highly recommend it. It is making this alternate universe that I live in, getting up at 3:30 in the morning every day, possible. So definitely check it out. You can help us get involved in the community by helping us put on events, right? Contact me, Bucky Dillon at khnc.net. Send me a message and let me know if you have ideas of things we could do here at the KHNC lobby to become involved in the community. So far, I've been thinking about hosting movie nights. There's a lot of great movies and documentaries that people should know about. One great documentary is actually one of Michael Moore's new documentaries called Planet of the Humans. And the left was horrified when Michael Moore, of all people, released this video absolutely destroying the green energy movement. Not because Michael Moore loves fossil fuels. No, he absolutely hates fossil fuels. But because he learned that all of the green energy solutions, so-called, are 100% dependent on fossil fuels, and they're wholly inefficient. They're not going to sustain us. We're not going to rely on them to sustain us. It's just not going to happen. That's why Joe Biden's Paris Climate Accords are so disastrous, because it's not going to work. It's just going to bankrupt us and enrich China. So we want to do movie nights. We want to do comedy nights. We want to do little concerts. Get a hold of us. Let us know what you think. Let us know if that's something that you'd be interested in. Like I said, I'm going to be here probably Saturday. And you can just come hang out. Let's strategize how to rescue our country.
Hey, KHNC listeners, Bucky Dillon here. By the way, I just want to let you know, if you're interested in buying or selling real estate, I highly recommend you contact my friend Jerry at SearsRealEstate.com. He's been doing real estate here since like 2005. And you don't just get him, you get the entire Sears Real Estate team, one of the best in the business, looking out for you on one of the most crucial purchases of your life. Don't mess it up. Contact my friend Jerry at SearsRealEstate.com.
Hi, this is Taylor Grant. I'm a certified personal trainer with the National Academy of Sports Medicine and a longtime competing strongman athlete. I've recently opened a gym here in Loveland, Colorado. The address is 1339 South Garfield Avenue, right next to the Furniture and Decor store. I offer all kinds of services for athletes or people just looking to get in better shape. I coach strongman, powerlifting, general fitness, and training of injuries as well. I am a private gym, so if you are interested in scheduling a session, please give me a call at 970-402-1330. Once again, that's 970-402-1330, or shoot me an email, and that's at grantperformance1@gmail.com. That's GRANT performance1@gmail.com. Thank you for listening to 1360 KHNC. The roar of the Rockies.
1360khnc.com has CBD products. Click on the shop button and get yours today.
Just go to 1360khnc.com/shop. The CBD on our website is 99% pure, all natural, no pesticides, non-GMO, is grown organically right here in Colorado, and is 100% THC free. Oh, and did you know ours is the lowest price CBD anywhere in Northern Colorado? For all your CBD needs, just log on to 1360khnc.com/shop.
All of the music for the Bucky Dillon Morning Show was provided by my band, Beer for Bears. Find us on social media by looking for Beer for Bears.
I think there's actually a lot we can do. I think there's a lot of reasons to be hopeful. Actually, I don't know if you guys saw this, but recently there's been a lot of talk on college campuses about ending the Fed. Can you believe it? Can you believe libertarian ideas seem to be growing on college campuses. Ron Paul went and gave a speech a little while back, and the students started burning the Federal Reserve notes and chanting "End the Fed." I'm actually going to do an episode on the Federal Reserve here soon. So if you guys have want to contribute to that, and you guys hear me say it all the time, the Bucky Dillon Show is a collaborative between myself and the community, and I absolutely mean it. I want you guys to be in touch with me all the time. I want you guys to be getting together with me. I want you guys to be sending me messages, hanging out with me in the live streams, hanging out with me on the Facebook page, and letting me know what your ideas are, letting me know what you would like to see happen, joining the conversation, becoming part of our community, because that's how we're going to rescue this country. That's how we're going to make a difference. Listening to the radio isn't enough. Clearly, just going out and voting isn't enough. If you just keep your mouth shut and then just show up and vote, you're going to be outworked by the people who get the message out, bring their friends to vote, win people over to their side who are engaged in the culture, and they show up to vote, and their 15 friends show up to vote. You're going to be outworked. Listening to the radio isn't enough. It's not. Watching the YouTube videos isn't enough. You have to speak. You have to be engaged in the culture. The conservatives, libertarians can no longer survive if they don't foster an activist mindset. The left has it. You know the left has it. You could see the burning cities all summer long. You can see the university campuses overrun. You see the mainstream media. You see Disney, Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hulu, all of them putting out show after show with subtle, low-key leftist talking points worked into the stories. That's how you win. Doesn't matter how terrible their ideas are. That's how you win. Guys, if you want to support this country, take stake in it. One way you can do that is actually by purchasing land. Become a landowner. If you're interested in buying or selling real estate, check out my friend Jerry. He's been here since 2005. He's been in the area for like 60 years. He's been doing real estate since 2005. He'll help you get the best possible deal and the best possible piece of real estate, whether you're buying or selling. He's an honest guy. You don't just get him, you get the entire Sears real estate team looking out for you on one of the most crucial purchases of your life. Don't mess it up. Contact my friend Jerry. You can support the station by just reaching out to me. Facebook.com/Liberty Revolt Media. Bucky Dillon at KHNC.net. Like the KHNC Facebook page. Facebook.com/1360KHNC. Follow the YouTube. Like and subscribe. YouTube.com/Liberty Revolt. Come hang out with me on Saturday. Help me put together an event right here in Johnstown and get the community involved.
This is Sam Shook, Navy Vet and Medicare Specialist. I just want to thank the KHNC listeners for their support and trust in me as their Medicare specialist. If you are currently on Plan F, we are on a window